As part of CAA football's 75-year celebration, we take a look back at the 1982 University of Maine team, which captured a share of the Yankee Conference Championship.
It was a close-knit team, and oftentimes we motivated each other, we supported each other, and we drew strength from each other. And I think the other thing is pride. There was a lot of pride in our performance and pride in giving your personal best on behalf of the team.
You know, this is a very passionate team too, as Bobby was saying, and there were a lot of leaders on there. I was the captain, but there were a lot of guys that could have been captains.
We had enthusiastic and inspirational coaches, led by Ron Rogerson, our coach. And he also always had his focus on continuous improvement.
After starting the season 2-0, the Black Bears suffered 3 straight heartbreaking losses, including a 58-55 6-overtime setback to Rhode Island in what was, at the time, the longest college football game ever played, followed by a 4-overtime loss to Boston University.
Both those games that we lost in overtime were heartbreaking, but we knew we should have won those.
He got the ball first in the 6th overtime and got a field goal. And Rhode Island then got possession of the ball. The quarterback handed kind of a fake to his running back up the middle. And I believe he jumped up in the air, and I jumped up in the air to meet him. Then he had faked it to that running back, not giving him the ball, and he flipped it to a wide receiver that was lined up on the left side, and he ran an end around into the end zone untouched, left to right. And I could see that from the bottom of the pile, your heart just sinks. Then the next week we go to Boston University, and we have a lead, and I think we turned the ball over. They then tied the game up late in the game, and then they beat us in 4 overtimes.
It was exhaustion, right? I mean, that's almost like 2 games in both those. I mean, one right after another. I remember just being so drained after that BU game, just physically exhausted. And I was joking with Bobby. I honest to goodness, when at the end of the game on that 6th overtime, it was almost pitch black. I literally thought they were going to have to bring the cars, put them in the end zone, and turn the floodlights on in the cars, put the high beams on so we could see the place. The outcome was the outcome, unfortunately. But I mean, it was pressure all the time, and it was there was passion for 2 hours out in that field. I mean, it was draining. We knew what we had. We had a great team. Our offense we were putting points on the board. I mean, we could score.
We knew that we could do one thing, and that was focus on what we could control. You know, actions, efforts, behavior, supporting one another. We never lost our confidence, and we were even more motivated at that point in time to show what we could do. The 6 overtime game was an extra 56 minutes. The 4 overtime game was an extra 40 minutes. And as Steve said, next week, we're ready to get back into the winning column, and we go to Towson, and we're in a 32-32 game with 1 second left. And Sean Landetta came in and kicked that ball through the uprights, and now it's 35-32, and we've had these 3 gut-wrenching losses by 3 points each.
Following the loss to Towson, Maine was able to go on a 5-game winning streak, highlighted by a 42-24 victory over a perennial power UMass. It was the Black Bears' first win over the Minutemen in 17 years and helped them earn a share of the Yankee Conference title for the first time since 1974.
I was the 3rd generation of Keatings playing football up there, and there wasn't a lot of winning teams with my brothers and myself up until that point. So, like Bobby said, my father had been going up I-95 from Cohasset, Massachusetts since 1968, only to watch UMass beat Maine year after year after year. And it was exuberance when we finally beat UMass. So for us, it was there was a lot of personal satisfaction there.
Respect for our opponents in the league, and we were all striving to give our best effort every year. You knew you were going to have a battle each and every week, much as it is now, honestly, in the conference. There were no easy games. They were all very competitive, and there was a lot of talent and determination and pride and some great coaching. And I think that's always been the case in this conference as I've followed it. And I think that's what makes it such a special conference.
On September 10th, the 1982 Maine team was reunited and recognized during halftime of the Black Bears contest with Colgate.
Oh my gosh. You know, there was some people I hadn't seen, Bobby, the same with you. We hadn't seen some of these people in 40 years. And it was emotional. It was definitely emotional. And we picked up right where we left off. Everybody harassing each other a little bit. But everybody was, you know, in their eyes, they were still 20 years old, but a little more snow on the roof, a little less hair on the roof. But, you know, it was really good to get caught up with everybody and see how they're doing and see their wives. And it was really, for me, it was emotional.
Felt very blessed to have had the opportunity to be on the team, to work with the teammates that I did and the coaches that I did. And it's just one of those times where you really reflect, you know, back on those good memories, those good times, and those bonds that we forged in that season.
Be sure to follow along at CAA Football on all social media platforms as we continue to celebrate and honor 75 seasons of CAA